We have engaged in an instructional conversation, if you will, about how life works, how life is supposed to function. We began with that premise, with the premise that life comes from God. If you're just now joining us, perhaps this week or last week, I just want to kind of review some things that we have established that are important for you to understand as we go into our next life lesson study. The most important premise is that life comes from God. It does not come from man or any other media source. It comes from God. And if life comes from God, we would need to turn to Him to really accurately understand how life is supposed to work, how life is intended to function, so that we don't find ourselves misusing life or losing life. One of the things we've shared previously, Jesus teaching His disciples, if you strive to save your life, you will actually lose your life. But if we learn how to lose our life in discovering Him, losing our identity so that we can understand Him, understand the life giver, then we actually find life. So it's important that we understand life comes from the life giver so that we can learn how to make life work, how life is supposed to function. So we're going to turn our attention to our Life Point Journal for today as we continue to understand how life is supposed to work. Our journal reading for today. The fullness of life is expressed through the season of every experience. The fullness of life is expressed through the season of every experience. This is this journal reading is to help us understand something we just shared in the last program about not allowing life to be defined by one experience. Life is not the result of one net experience. We have to recognize that life is the accumulation, the compilation, the assembly, if you will, of all the experiences that we have had up to this present time. And we want to understand how important that is, because life is a constant flow. All right, life is always moving forward. We learned in our last program that life is always working. All right, so we don't find ourselves working against life. Well, we want to connect all of that together to understand that the fullness of life is expressed through the season of every experience. So we have to allow the season of life that we're in now to be fully experienced. All right, we have to allow the season of life that we're in to complete its cycle. We can't rush, get in a hurry, and try to figure out what's going to happen next. Remember, we learned that the only moment we can affect is the moment we're in now. So we have to settle in, all right, and embrace the season that we are in. Understanding that, seasons are transitional, but they don't transition until they have completed their cycle. And the fullness of life is expressed through every season that we are going to experience. Life is not just one season. Life is not just summertime. Life is also wintertime. Life is not just springtime. Life is also the fall. So we have to recognize the season that we're in. That's kind of a setup for where we're going.